Welcome to another edition of Owlet Season 2, Week 3. We have a Flashpoint in the blue and Quantum Charge in the red here for our Miners Edition. This week with me, I've got the man himself, Bort, and also rocking the mic this time is Direboyd as well. Welcome, guys.
That's me,
Hey, Joe.
everybody.
Hey, guys. How's it going? How's your night going?
It's pretty good. I'm excited. I haven't casted in a long time.
Oh, boy. We're coming out of retirement just for the Flashpoint QC game here.
Yep. It's my first triple cast. Menage a trois.
Oh, all right. Getting a little risque this, what is it, Tuesday evening? Feeling pretty nice. Looking forward to some competitive Overwatch. These guys, not necessarily close in win and loss, but the standings seem to tell a different story. Only a couple places away from each other here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So very curious to see how it goes here.
Yeah, it looks bigger than it is. Flashpoint's 13-2, Quantum Charge 8-7. So it feels like a big difference, but in the overall standings, Flashpoint is about tied for first with is it Otter Oxide, and then Quantum Charge is fifth in the standings. So they're really not that far away from each other. So it should be a very interesting match to see how hard these two teams can go against each other.
And I think, with what we've been seeing in minors, especially, we were all here for the last match we casted together, and we saw how close it was, even with the difference in the standings. So I think that the numbers don't really represent how close things could be, talent-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. That Pentium Viserion versus TBA, yeah. That game, while the standings had them on the opposite sides of the equator there, it was super close, and it came down to what, a 2-1 difference?
That Horizon map is what did them in.
Yeah. So standings aside, it doesn't really matter at this point. It really depends on who comes to play, and depending on team compositions, coordination, and a lot of other, maybe a little pinch of luck in there. Could see this go either way.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of this game, I'm really loving the compositions that we're seeing here.
Oh boy, the dive fanatic himself getting himself a nice taste of a dive on both sides. Both teams rocking the Widow, so immediately going to see some sort of divide here, as I'm sure one's going to have to, sort themselves out from the rest. And the duel's on already as Nano Rocket sends out the first shot. No one died yet, no shots hit, as we've got Flashpoint getting themselves good control over the point so far if they want to maintain this position. Meanwhile, it looks like Quantum Charge is looking for their dive target right now.
Yeah.
They want to see what they want to engage in. But Boots gets the king early, right as the point unlocks. So we're going to see them maybe getting possession. But the Widow going down on the other side due to Nano Rocket's headshot leaves the skies pretty open, and without having to worry about getting snipes on the QC side here. As the dive engages onto what it seems like a couple of low health targets. It's tough to say how it's going to go, but we already got kills coming out left and right as the king comes back just in time to be able to get some dash kills.
Yeah, and I think that things are looking a little chaotic there. It seems like another kind of 3-4 different fights happening at once. You have the Widow dive on both sides, and then a couple skirmishes. So
yeah, but it looks like some key picks coming in. Yeah, these picks coming in last second from Boots after he respawns, ends up taking out a healer and a sniper, giving Flashpoint here a good hold on the point. They don't even lose the point in that first initial loss of fight. They're still managing to keep bodies on point, and yep, they are continuing to build charges. They're up at 50% already.
It's a little disappointing that Quantum Charge didn't take advantage and capture the point there, because early on, basically starting all that was see Ronaldo jumping in on the supports, but unfortunately getting taken out in the dive. And then when Quantum Charge came and took the point over, they didn't really group up and capture it, so it gave time for Flashpoint to regroup. And it looks like Quantum Charge is having trouble, like maybe grouping up and finding the coordination, get in. Their supports getting taken out. Yeah, Nano's doing a pretty good job, but it's not really enough to push through Flashpoint right now.
Man, it just looks like Flashpoint's able to just get pick after pick, even though they're a little bit staggered. It kind of just works way more in their favor since Quantum Charge can't get in on the push that they want to, since they're always down a person.
And part of dive is being aggressive. You have to be aggressive to have a good dive team. It just seems like Quantum Charge is being a little too reserved.
Yeah, I think aggression definitely favors dive, and if you want something done, you got to pick a target, jump on it quick, and you'll be able to see results. Otherwise, if you're on the back foot, stuff like this is happening. Even though a Nano Blade coming up, probably going to clean up the rest of what's left, but it goes on both sides, so to see effects is hard to say. Both Genji's not really getting too much done with it, but you know, with that distraction going on, a lot of Quantum Charges already dead, leaving them staggering to get points contention and not getting there in time.
Yeah, Flashpoint hung on to that the whole time. Didn't seem like Quantum Charge looked like they won a fight or two. But yeah, never grouped up and actually like focused on the point.
Yeah, I think they had a good start. They just didn't really, you know, roll the ball into a point capture.
It just looks like you guys were saying, they just need to be more coordinated. It definitely looks like they're not unable to kill anyone on Flashpoint or get those eliminations. It just seems they're not able to turn them into something meaningful.
Right. And yeah, I think they'll have a better time here because you really can't not be on point when you're fighting for the most part. There's a lot of walls that you can hide behind. But once you get the kills, I think you feel more safe to pressure. We're seeing both sides go with the Orisa Roadhog combination here. So the dive, perhaps not Quantum Charger's strong suit. So we'll see what they get with the little bunker down composition. See if it works more to their favor.
Yeah, I think King brought the Junkrat specifically. That might work. Out.
Yeah, I really like Quantum Charges coming here.
Yeah, they get the initiative. Oh, the hook into the hook. But hey, that leaves Quantum Charge up at least one right now. The Pharmacy kind of just taking control of the skies, though, not getting too much contention. Although Nano's trying, even though it's putting him in a really tough spot. But he seems to not pay the price for overextending there.
So yeah, they definitely look more coordinated with the bunker comp over the dive. Allows them to play a little more static and together.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, they didn't have a choice to contest points, so they were on it right away. And once they got that pick, they felt more comfortable to be able to move up and make sure they kept that aggression going. But a quick pick going. Oh, wait, no, Metallica actually survived. Yeah, that was crazy. I thought he was dead to rights, but he gets saved last second. And a lot back and forth, and one hook goes down. And a tire comes out to see who else can get picked off. And gets a nice kill on the Orisa, but that it's going to get res since the Roadhog was not able to. And Bear's still kind of firing freely up on the side of Flashpoint, although so far nothing doing.
Yeah, I think she's been kept in check here by the Nano Rocket. Nano's been pretty good on the hit scan. He was good on the Widow last map, so you at least have to respect that as the Pharah.
Yes, absolutely. But I mean, we got Ultimate starting to come online here. We've got 4 on the side of Quantum Charge, which is perfect for the situation there. Fire King going down, kind of on a flank by herself. And a really nice kill on this D.Va. The High Noon finishing off a job that was already set in stone at that point. And Metallica, oh, just dancing around the lip of that well. Not falling in just yet, but getting super close.
I was going to say, Quantum Charge looking a lot better on this map. And I would kind of have to think, from what I'm seeing, that the Junkrat does such a good job clearing out these bunkers that Fire King just can't kind of match with the Pharah, especially because Nano Rocket is there to keep such high pressure on. The Fire King is probably looking to ultimate right here. If you guys check him out, he is super close to a group of teams. It looks like he's been caught out, and the fight's going to start without that element of surprise they were hoping for. He's still going on the back. He's going to open up. Oh,
oof, and gets
anyway.
a meaty barrage there.
So now for Quantum Charge, it's all about just... Oh, they got overtime, so you just want to get out of there and not feed any more old charge.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely. Nice T doing himself a little dive, swan dive into the well, getting himself killed before they could really get too much damage on him. And it's just one more fight, one good fight away from this being Quantum Charge's map.
Yeah, I mean, Quantum Charge, 3 ultimates, almost 4 with the King's Retire, so 4 to 4. If they can coordinate their ultis better, they just have to win one fight, like you were saying. So this is pretty favored for Quantum Charge to come here. And maybe they can just do like kind of a quick fight to build up their own. We're gonna go ahead and use them.
Yep, and they're full blown into this fight. And really nice sound barrier coming in. And Metallica ripping apart half the team with this Q. And that's
I really like that angle that they took.
Yeah, that was really
handling
nice.
the Roadhog and then getting real close real fast, allowing that ult to get a lot of value.
Yeah, that was really nicely coordinated there. And Grumpy Kitten trying to stall as long as possible. It looks like... Oh, wow, huge! Deadeye!
Yeah, good
Preventing
stall right up
any...
in front.
Oh my goodness. Still get themselves a little bit of contest on this point, but it's basically the writing's on the wall. This point's going to be wrapping up, and we're going to see a map 3 coming out here.
Nice.
Really, really good Roadhog play, I think, this map.
Yeah,
from
play the game
Metallica.
for sure.
Yeah, that was honestly awesome to watch. They stayed
Yeah.
together.
On
They all-
Ruins, we were just saying that they they were having issues playing together, but that was a really nicely executed play.
Yeah, and it worked out marvelously, as it all it took was that one fight. And just like that, I mean, the first map seemed kind of one-sided, right? We had Flashpoint going up 100-0, and then one map later, it's 99 overtime, and Flashpoint struggling to get that point. So maybe we're in for another bit of a rabble-rousing here. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I was a little
Really?
afraid when Flashpoint took it last round. I was thinking, like, oh, hopefully Quantum Charge doesn't have trouble just catching it and it ends 2-0. So I'm a lot more excited to see a 1v1 with a lot more on the line.
And I'm curious to see how this Goats versus half dive works out here. Fair dive, Ash dive? I don't really know. But, you know, seeing the way they worked as a team together last time. Oh, early pick, unfortunate. But perhaps they can make this work. Although they're losing numbers pretty early before the point can even unlock. One being a support and one being a pretty critical off tank. And a really sick boop coming out from Fire King separates their main tank, and it's just going to be cleanup at this point as Flashpoint gets themselves early percentage eventually on
Quantum
this
Charge
point.
just kind of like slowly fell apart there as like one person got pooped off, Diva got demeched, one thing after another.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're switching to dive plus McCree, so this should sort of help them mitigate those issues this fight.
Ah, nice. This is the stuff that I love right here is just the counterplay, right? You realize that, you know, this isn't going to work. We're going to swap off real quick. We're not going to wait for ultimate charge or anything. We're just going to make quick adjustments, and we're going to see how it's going to fare. Fortunately, Ice-T kind of, I think, got out of line of sight of his healers, so wasn't able to really do much, but we do see at least one ultimate coming out on the side of Flashpoint, able to extend this stagger ever so much longer.
Rialto going pretty hard, getting a double kill with his ultimate, pushing most of Quantum Charge back towards spawn. Dying in the
It's his life
process,
for it.
but
Yeah.
probably a pretty good use of the ultimate in the end.
Yeah, not so bad. I mean, the Primal Rage, you can't really always rely on it to do a lot of work, but I mean, getting 2 kills and wasting a good amount of time is probably one of the best uses for it.
Yeah, I think I'll be back with plenty of time before Quantum Charge reserves.
See, I think the big issue here is that the ultimate economy is way in favor of Flashpoint. I think it's a huge uphill battle for Quantum Charge here.
Yeah, Pocket
But-
Knock is start with
Nice. A lot of kills coming out left and right, and you would think that it would have been favored on the Quantum Charge here, but they're getting kills when they need them. Tough to say though as the fight goes back and forth, but they have no heals left on point. Just the tanks left to try and stall out as long as they can. They're using both of their ultimates to get some kills, and they're getting them.
Huge.
They're actually getting them. Primal Rage, 2 bomb kills, pretty nutty.
Wow.
I gotta say, it was a little sloppy on Flashpoint's part. I think about 2 of them probably could have easily avoided that Diva Bomb.
I honestly have no idea how they even got that point. It looked like it was a dead fight.
Well, yeah, I was cringing a little bit at the ult usage, to be honest. I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I would try to hang on to these here," but it worked, so we can't really complain.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And really not really expending those high value ults per se. I mean, the Diva Bomb's probably a pretty good one you want to have, but I mean, it worked to a perfect effect, so.
Right.
They still got a lot they can rely on in the Blade and the Deadeye. And they're seeing what they can do with this Nano Monkey, keeping him probably alive for the most part since he was starting to get pretty low, and he is able to stabilize a bit. And it looks like another reset coming out on the side of Flashpoint here.
Yeah, it looks like the tanks on the side of Flashpoint are going a little bit too ahead of the rest of the team, getting themselves kind of like baited around corners, dragged into hallways, separated from their hero's line of sight, and just makes it a tough time. Because Pakao Taco needs that line of sight, and Rainbow doesn't really want to get too close to the action. So hopefully they can kind of stick together and make use of these 3 ultimates they can throw out at once. Even 5 now, with 2 more coming online.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on already as both DPS, both of the people with ultimates are dead on the side of Quantum Charge, and they're ready to blow a lot of the ultimates on the side of Flashpoint because they want this cap right now, and they want to make sure they can secure it. They're getting towards the end of this fight, but we've got Ice Tea Drink doing a pretty decent job stalling on point, but he's not going to be long for this world since he's alone now.
I think that Zen going down for Quantum Charge was a big blow.
Yeah, unlucky. He would have been probably your ideal target to stall this, but we've got the King already ready to stall with his ult. Bob entering the fight as well, kind of lopsiding. Oh, getting the kill on the King in mid-charge. It looks like it's getting close.
He's just gonna trickle away too slowly to make any progress on this point.
Yeah, unlucky. The trance does come into self for a little bit longer, and the Nano Monkey doing some work, but it's not going to be enough as the heals are just falling down on the side of Quantum Charge. The King maybe coming back to be able to do something, but both healers are still alive on Flashpoint, so I'm not really sure how much they're really going to be able to kill when they don't have any heals on their side as well, and that's going to wrap it up.
So I think, you know, looking at Ilios as a whole, Flashpoint is playing to a bit of a higher level, but I definitely don't think that this is out of Quantum Charge's reach to take the whole win. I think that they showed some flashes of real ability.
Yeah, and as great as this play was, I'm surprised that Metallica Roadhog Q was not the play of the game.
Yeah, I cast Christed it.
Alright, well, that was a pretty good first round. We've got Flashpoint taking the first map 2-1 here. Quantum Charge giving themselves a good showing, though. I think they had a lot of pretty decent engagers, and they made what seemed like crumbling cards seem to stand upright still, even though some fights really looked like lost.
Yeah, I think oh, go ahead, Dan.
No, I was just gonna say Flashpoint definitely won the map. I don't think it was. I think if Quantum Charge played every individual map like they did on Well, I'd be saying it was very even. But I think that Flashpoint definitely outplayed Quantum Charge as a whole on that map.
Yeah, I think like I was gonna say the timing for Quantum Charge just didn't work out right. They had like 3 ultimates I think in the bank by the end of it, but they did not have enough time to like regroup one more time and fight back for the point. It just ticked up to like 99, and they had to trickle in and kind of not really get value out of those last ultimates they had there.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're heading to Rialto, which is a map I have not seen too much of. I know it's a
Good old Rialto. It's pretty lengthy. It's pretty nice looking, and curious to see if we're gonna have any subs so far. I'm going to reckon no. All the same characters seem to be in their spots, and yeah. What kind of compositions do you think we'll be seeing here, Bort?
Well, I know that the Pharah is popular on first point defense. I always like watching Pharahs. I think that it's I think I mentioned this last match we casted too. I always like watching them not at the pro level because I think that they get a little bit more value down here. So it's always fun watching what a Pharah can do because I feel like that's one hero that I don't get to see a lot of. That's really interesting to watch.
Yeah, sure. So you're guessing, you're wagering some sort of Pharah.
A defensive Pharah.
Defensive Pharah. We're not feeling the offensive Pharah though. You think it's just a little weaker on this point, or it's just not really worth it, and you can maybe run something else more effective?
Well, I'm just saying that because I think that Fire King seems to have a sort of penchant for Pharah, and I think that Fire King plays Pharah well, and I think that, like I mentioned, the first point of defense, you can see a Pharah here, so I think that they might take advantage of that.
All right, fair to say. Curious to see myself if Fire King stays on that Pharah. I think he only played Pharah that last map, right?
He also played it on Well, I believe.
I mean, I just mean Ilios in general.
Oh, right.
I think he did all 3. Maybe not Ruins, but I can't recall.
So something I think I see in Rialto a lot is like if a team is doing a pretty good bunker comp on payload, it's not surprising to see Reaper early on because there's a lot of good spots to just drop down on top of people, and it just sets up a lot of easy death blossoms.
I think that's another really good hero for this this rank range, especially with the buff that he's gotten recently.
Yeah,
And there's, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of good spots to jump down. There's small corridors that you can kind of peek around and hide
Right.
behind
I
if you
see
need
like a lot
to
of
if you need
it's
to
like a
fight.
lot of tank heavy comps on this. Like I see a lot of goats on Rialto, I think, and so like I think sometimes people just get frustrated, switch to Reaper because they can quickly build up an ult and then just like hop up a balcony and drop down pretty quickly.
Yeah, I can see that. And I guess we're gonna find out in a second. I mean, a fair on defense would kind of be a little bit of a nuisance to a goat comp, especially once they get past this first bend, really. But we'll see. We'll see. So far, we've got, I think,
Looks like we
some,
have goats versus goats.
yeah, a little bit of role reversal per se, as we got Fire King on the Ana instead of what maybe should normally be like a Vegeta, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, goats v goats,
Yeah.
and for
This
good
is a
reason
more
too.
yeah, yeah.
But we're gonna see how it plays out at the beginning. Maybe we get some Lucio Reddit cheese, but none of the barriers are knocked down, so probably not. No early boops coming out here. Looks like they're just gonna hold this first choke and see how the dice lands. Alright, so we're gonna have the push begin as we've got 3 on payload. The clock's starting to tick down from 4 minutes on this initial push. We're gonna see what we have as our first engagement as Ice Tea Drink takes an aggressive push forward. See Ronaldo also going aggressive after the Zarya shield breaks rather quickly. Both Zaryas being pretty high charge at this point, and see Ronaldo's gonna be the first to drop as Salad takes her first blood in pocket, and the rest of the team moves up behind that as the support's sitting way far back on the side of Flashpoint, maybe not having the line of sight, or maybe just favoring their safety in lieu of their team. As the rest of Quantum Charge going way ahead as Salad pushes.
Yeah, Quantum Charge's not interested in getting stuck at those first.
Right. And they're gaining a lot of ground by having the fight here.
If they can be very careful here, they can solve just enough time.
Oh, nice left
No, I
shift.
think-
Not in any trouble.
I think that was
Paco
really,
should
really
lead
good
too.
execution here from Quantum Charge.
Yeah, and Paco doing himself a little bit of contesting
yeah,
from
he
above,
was
but
actually contesting it from that ledge. Very interesting. But I think that's going to cost him his life and a little bit of stagger.
yeah, unfortunate. But look at that, Quantum Charge taking that first push with ease.
Yeah, no problem. 5 minutes still on the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the whole point of goats, right? Is to isolate the Reinhardt and take him out, and then you just kind of roll the rest, and that's exactly what happened.
Not to mention, everyone on Quantum Charge who was involved in fighting has their ultimate ready to go. Almost the
Yeah,
same
that's
for Flashpoint, they're pretty close, but Quantum Charge is pretty hyped up right now. And they could easily like gain a lot more speed.
Right. They have a lot
Shock 'em
more
off fight right here.
We're gonna see how this fight pans out. As I think the Earth Shatter is probably gonna be the first thing that we see. But oh, as I say that, the first thing coming out is a Coalescence out from Evandale, and then another supportal coming out to follow up the push. It doesn't seem like they're gonna have to commit too much to this, as we have a lot of people from
shouldn't have to
Flashpoint just
do
falling in.
anything.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much a wrap there as well. Perhaps they're gonna do a similar idea and keeping 5 forward and leaving Salad behind, but the King has decided to get him his silver medal on objective time as he shows back here.
Yeah, right, no, like, just 2 support ultimates. You know, it seems like Flashpoint needed to be a bit more bolder there, but C Ronaldo's in
Right.
such a tight spot because like he probably knows they have it ready. They have
And here
ultimates
comes the
coming
combo. Yep, and it looks like, oh, that bomb's gonna do massive work there. As the payload's gonna stop right before it gets to the checkpoint. And
Well,
that
that's
only
what
took 2
that's what Flashpoint needed there.
Yeah, that worked out very well.
Yeah, that was exactly what they were looking for, and it connected first try. So very well coordinated and well done.
Well, so now if you're Flashpoint, like, you finally got a break. Like, where do you set up? What's the strongest point in this area?
It's got to be the high ground that they're setting up on.
Yeah, it gives them the option to engage on their side whenever they're looking for it, and we're gonna have ourselves a pause here as Salad and Quantum Charge seem to be having some issues. But hey, we got some stuff to break down here, fellas. I don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
both sides, both fights, they only ended up using 2 ultimates each. They've decided to use different ones as Quantum Charge used their supports, and we had a little more aggression coming out from Flashpoint. But which team do you think is a little bit more in danger of losing this next fight based on the rest of the ults online?
For me, I think it's about even. I think Quantum Charge probably used 2 faster charging ultimates, maybe less valuable ultimates. but Flashpoint has two really strong support ultimates online in the beat drop and trance. So I think that might give them a little bit of the edge here, just unless they can pull off another grab bomb like Flashpoint did. I think that they might struggle a little bit.
Very true, and it looks like the sound barrier on the side of Quantum Charge was used, I guess, in that Diva Bomb, perhaps?
May have
the
been,
cap
yeah.
went off initially. But very interesting play coming out from Quantum Charge. I guess they're going to go all the way up and around here. I thought they'd maybe drop down to get themselves some sort of back flank, but they're just going to meet Flashpoint head on, and the grab gets eaten immediately by Nano Rocket. Very hungry Diva on this side of Quantum Charge, and the rest of the guys are starting to roll out, but it seems like not much is doing on either side, as we just kind of have kind of a stalwart defense coming out from Flashpoint here. Not a lot of budging here. And Metallica getting dropped early in this fight. They might want to just reconsider this push in general, but a huge shatter coming out gets all four the remaining team that's there. And that's going to be a quick cleanup for the side of Flashpoint, as we have a disconnect on the side of Quantum Charge. We're going to probably see ourselves another pause here.
Yeah, Sal's gonna have to, I guess, restart her client or something maybe, but hopefully
Yeah.
that doesn't cost Quantum Charge too much.
Yeah, they had a lot of momentum coming into this map. I mean, they put up a really good showing the first rounds, or first map, I should say, and they had themselves some really strong pushes here. Both points kind of going pretty breezy up until the grab and the bomb combo.
Yeah, I want to say, if we want to go back over that last fight, I mean, I think that was the perfect amount of effort that Flashpoint wanted to put in there, where Grumpy Kitten just ate Metallica's grab, and Quantum Charge was like, oh, well, you know, never mind.
Kind of ruined the plan. Yeah,
it really took like the wind out of their sails. Really killed the mood, and so like Quantum Charge just kind of went downstairs, and then Ronaldo just got that excellent shatter, and that was it.
Yeah, and you know, both teams are still in a decent place, ult economy wise. It's unfortunate that Salad's going to have to reset the ult yet again. But it seems about even. I think that either team could pull it off with one good fight.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to see how they regroup. Hopefully all the technical issues are out of the way now. We can get ourselves some good old-fashioned OW up in here again. But we'll see. We're going to have the Lucio back in play here, which is kind of pretty crucial to what Goats tries to do, right? You want to go together and you want to go swiftly. And without that speed boost, you're kind of lagging behind a team that does have that.
Right.
So we're going to see how this engage goes this time. They're going to opt for going underneath the overpass here, and we're going to just get the cart moving as C. Ronaldo drops down solo at first, but gets reunited with his team shortly after. And Paco lagging a little bit behind, getting himself down to half, but seems to be safe. Got ults coming out, and it only gets the Ana in the back, but Ice Team wants that Ana dead, does not confirm the kill just yet. And C. Ronaldo gets half the team on the side of Quantum Charge, as it looks like it's going to be another pretty much wrapped up fight with just one shatter going to use, and already halfway to another.
Wow, there's been some really nice holds here from Flashpoint.
Yeah, Ronaldo's shatters have been on point pretty much every time he flashes them out there. I'm sorry, but yeah, I mean, they're not using a lot in these fights. It looks like Fire King's going to swap off the Ana and go for the classic.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see Quantum Charge take their fight up here again.
They have another shot at this.
Yeah, and they've got similar ultimates. The grab coming out on the side of Boots, and Flashpoint tosses in a cheeky bomb at the end.
Oh,
And wow, a really nice stun coming out from Fire King. I'm pretty sure that's what knocked down Ice-T's shields and keeping the rest of the team uncovered as we lose another fight on the side of Quantum Charge here, and just not able to get their footing, as they haven't really been able to push this payload after they near cap it on the side.
Right.
Here.
yeah, I'm not sure what's not working out for Quantum Charge.
They're just not getting their ults off right, I think.
Yeah, I think Flashpoint's having some really.
Oh no.
Salad, what's up?
Yikes. They're having a really good ultimate usage, and I think they've rehearsed these goats, this 3-3 composition very well. And they don't overcommit to these fights. They're only using maybe one or two, and then backing off for the rest. And we're gonna see this last engage, very last one. We're gonna get at least 4 ultimates coming out from Quantum Charge. We're gonna probably get 4 ultimates from Flashpoint again as well. We gotta see how these ults are gonna be used.
They have to get value out of this.
Yep. Nano gets denied the bomb.
Oh, that kind of worked.
It might work. We get the mech down at the very least, and we got sound barriers coming out from both sides as they're just in the scrap of their life right now. Both Reinhardt's kind of swinging away. Fire King kind of also in the mix as well. And I think the Emmendale is going to be able to keep the team alive and long enough. Another Shatter coming out super fast. But the numbers are just favoring Flashpoint right now. No one's really falling, no one's really dying, and it's going to be cleanup.
Oh, that's goats.
Yeah, that's the nature of the beast, as it were. And yeah, I don't know. Tough break there.
So close to point 2, very far push. Unfortunately, only getting 1 point. But
Especially after such a strong start.
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully the mechanical side of things isn't going to fail Salad for this defense, as they're going to need her for sure to make sure that they can put up a decent defense here. But we'll see how it goes.
I think we really need to give props to Ronaldo there. I think that I think he shattered right before they were going to launch the Diva Bomb, which ended up delaying the Grav Bomb combo, and could have very well saved his entire team on that last defense.
Yeah, for sure. I think he shattered right as Nano was using his boosters, and then he kind of just fish out of water there for a few moments.
Allowed them to sort of deny any value. I know they got the Diva mech, but could have been way worse.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of coordination is really being shown on the side of Flashpoint here. I think once they pick a target, it ends up dying pretty fast. Whereas I think Quantum Charge also has what they're looking for, but they're just not able to get there maybe faster than Flashpoint's getting their marks down. But I think the ultimate usage on both sides is going pretty well. And I think both Reinhardts are really shining here. I think they're doing a very good job, which also might be attributed to their Zarya bubbles, to their supports as well. But they're going to come out with Sombra to start on the side of Flashpoint here. Maybe get a quick scouting in there to see what they're up against. But sure, they won't be surprised when they see some sort of goats. Perhaps they're going to keep the Sombra, though, just to make their life a little bit more hectic.
Oh, well, that's not what you want.
Yeah, no, early pick, but on the side of the attack, he's probably going to end up swapping, I'm going to guess. As the rest of his team kind of flails around on the bridge here. See Ronaldo getting himself a nice charge. And a huge shatter right off the bat. I don't even know where he got all his charge from, but that's goats for you, right? You're just going to build up that ult economy super fast, especially when you're a Reinhardt that has good protection and good team play. If you can stay alive, you can do some serious work.
Yeah, I definitely thought Quantum won that after the Sombra pick. It looked like that they were pushing it like they were going to be able to take it. I like the aggression. It's sort of crazy to me that they lost it.
We're going to have to see what Quantum Charge can come up with here, as they do have the Shatter ready to go, and it's utilized to really good effect. It gets 3 people on the side of Flashpoint, and that's going to be the end of that fight. Lickety split. Hopefully they can finish up these kills here and get themselves a little bit more time killed.
Yeah, good stabilization.
Yep, alright. So they do a good job. They're getting themselves at least some break from this push, right? They're able to only expend 1 ult for it also. So they're going to have a lot coming into this next fight, assuming we can get some ult charge built here. We've got the D.Va, the Zarya, and the Lucio already on the cusp of their ultimates on the side of Quantum Charge. And we've also got a bunch coming in from Flashpoint. The EMP is almost up with the grab. This could be huge. This fight is looking very interesting.
Salad's going to have to be careful with the sound barrier with the EMP coming up.
Yeah, for sure. And it's going to be tough to call, and it's even harder. Yeah, gets basically the entire team in it, and not much that Quantum Charge can really do there when they don't have any abilities online. It's going to be a first point cap on the side of Flashpoint.
Yeah, was that just Fire King's rally and the EMP?
Yeah,
and the grab.
Okay, so 3, not too bad.
Not too bad. They still got 3 left. And yeah, maybe like a minute behind what Quantum Charge was able to do it in, but they've only got well, they don't even have the whole way to go, right? So they got 4 minutes to be able to get it around the corner and then some. We're gonna see what Quantum Charge is gonna do to stymie this. They're gonna throw out the grab combo to no effect, so the shield being there just in time, and another big shatter coming out from Ice Tea Drink. Both of these guys and both of these Reinhardts having some really team fight swaying ultimates.
And I think Quantum Charge, even though they used 3 ultimates there, I think they getting that trance out was a big get here, because now coming into this next fight, it looks like they do have a bit of an advantage in the ult economy.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna see the EMP and the Grav coming back already as well, pretty much at some point during this push, I'm sure. So we're gonna have to see what the game plan is around that, especially for Quantum Charge. Now they know that they have to deal with that. Maybe they might not be so aware of what percentage they're at, but they seem to be looking for it, as they're all pretty spread out and not trying to get all clumped up at once for this.
Right now, the Quantum Charge really only has defensive ultis online, and Flashpoint don't really have any. They're just starting to get some, but like, there's not really a big fight. Like, there's not the ingredients for a big fight right now. So
Right.
They're just kind of like bumping into each other and back it up.
Well, they're getting so close to getting kills over here too, but a whole team EMP again coming out from Grumpy Kitten, and the rest is just gonna play out the beautiful symphony of what is goats and just pile driving through a team, swinging the hammers, shooting rockets.
So Quantum Charge is going to have very little time to get on that point.
It's gonna be tough. I don't know if they're gonna be able to even wait for 6s. They might have to stagger themselves.
Yeah, they've got the barrier. They're gonna have to use it.
Oh, big charge. Yeah, big charge. And a lot happening here as ultimates are coming out left and right. Really good trance coming in to save the team, and a good grab to get the majority of Quantum Charge inside of it. But so far, no one dying. They need to figure out who they want to target, and the Reinhardt goes down on both sides first. The bomb giving themselves some base.
Oh, huge bomb.
People. That's going to be a nice push ender right there, as Quantum Charge is able to reconvene at the perfect time right before Cap gets secured.
Yeah, props to Nano Rocket. That was just a good spot and a little bit of good luck, because there are a lot of places to hide, but like, it is a little kind of weird to see, you know, what exactly is line of sight and isn't. So very good bomb placement.
Yeah, it works out to their favor here, as they've got a little bit north of a minute left for Flashpoint. Grumpy Kitten has revealed himself, so no surprise coming on that side. But it looks like Flashpoint's going to try to take the fight up the top here. Ice Tea Drink looking for that shatter, seeing if he can get something. Ronaldo also looking for the shatter, as they know it's coming, right? We're going to see the Transcendence go out pretty quickly. 60 seconds left in it.
Huge shatter.
Shine North. We got to see what they can get out of it, though, as a lot of the team is not together right now. A lot of stagger coming out. Ice-T extending a little bit too far, not being able to get the heals. See Ronaldo also dropping as well, and it just looks like the rest of the Flashpoint team's going to have to set themselves back up a little bit for one final engagement here, as we're nearing the 30-second mark.
You know, this is going to be the biggest test for Quantum Charge. They're going up against an EMP and a Shatter, and as well as a Trance, and then possibly a Sound Bear. I think it's going to be they're really going to have to win this fight.
Yeah, and they've got to be very mindful of this EMP. It hasn't been used in a while, and they're going to be flanked in an entirety, and the Shatter's going to be massive if they're not mindful of it. Now here comes the grab. They're engaging the fight themselves. The EMP looking to get in spot, and it gets 3 out of the team, and the Shatter does nothing. Okay, all right, we've got 1 kill on each side right now. Really big sound barrier, and all the support ults coming in. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get through it quite yet on the side of Flashpoint, but they have themselves a little bit of extra health as the sound barrier comes down from Rainbow. And it looks like Flashpoint and Quantum Charge still even in numbers, not much going on right now. Ice-T struggling to survive though, isn't able to chip in any damage. But Ronaldo also down, which is a huge benefit to Quantum Charge here, as that opens up Ice-T to be able to be a little bit more aggressive. The Transcendence
Another Trance.
Yeah, opening up a lot of options here. Is Evandale kind of just picking away at the very top now, on point to contest, as it looks like Quantum Charge might be throwing in the towel, just kind of trying to see what they can do to stall. But ults just keep coming up a line, and they just keep going off, but it looks like there's not much going on. But Nano Rocket eats the crit. Oh, wow, huge. And Ronaldo swapping off the Reinhardt, not providing as much of a shield.
Big shatter though!
speed to shatter the entirety of Flashpoint.
Oh my
Seeing what they can
god.
get as a kill. Only the mech so far, and it looks like another grab
Ooh,
coming up.
big.
Probably going to be what's
Big.
going to end this fight right now.
Big.
As that
Another shatter.
Wow.
Wow, that is a fight for the ages right there. That last fight came down to basically everyone using their ultimate twice.
Yeah.
People just not dying.
Play of the game.
And
Wow.
well deserved. It was either going to be him or Ronaldo. As both of these Reinhardts, I think, really shone or shine bright on this Rialto map. Very
Yeah.
crazy stuff. This was the very last fight here. As Ronaldo was forced to switch on to the Winston at that point because they were struggling on time. They were struggling on numbers. He had to get back to the point super fast. But I think, yeah, just having a Reinhardt at that last moment is way more advantageous than a Winston can be. But hey, very well fought on both sides. That went down to the wire, and it came down to a very close cap. Just ults being used at the exact right time, people dying when they needed to. And I guess maybe perhaps not being able to take advantage of that EMP, because I honestly thought that would have been their biggest worry on the side of Quantum Charge.
I think that the EMP seemed to hit a lot of people. It just wasn't. There wasn't a lot of good follow up on it, and I think that if they had followed up a little bit stronger, they could have definitely won that.
Yeah, I think the grab on the side of Quantum Charge there while the EMP was active kind of limited the engage afterwards. And then the Shatter not being able to get the numbers that they were looking for is really just, yeah, they couldn't turn it after that. They were struggling to keep up with what the rest of Quantum Charge had to offer at that point.
So we are getting our first substitution of the night. It looks like Phantom Tissue is replacing Metallica for Quantum Charge.
Yeah, and we've also got Heartbeat coming in for Rainbow on the side of Flashpoint.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we're going to see a couple swaps here as the series is tied now 1-1 after a gruesome Rialto that just saw everyone getting noodle slapped by Reinhardt's hammer. We saw multiple Transcendences coming out in the same fight. It was nutty. It was really hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I think
but that just goes to show, I don't know, that these two teams, despite the rankings or the standings or whatever, you never know every given night.
Right. I think that at least talent-wise, both these teams are even. I think that some of the issues or some of the advantage that Flashpoint seems to show is that they seem to be a little bit more coordinated, especially when it comes to cycling their ultimates and getting key picks to start fights. But I think that Quantum Charge is sort of rapidly closing that split between the two teams, and they're becoming more coordinated as this match goes on.
Yeah, I think one of the big differences initially, at least, was that I think that the call outs on Flashpoint were kind of more direct, and people were able to jump on that a little bit quicker as compared to Quantum Charge, because they seem to both have a good semblance of what the game plan is. It's just when it comes to executing it, they might have been a little bit behind, but they were starting to get what they needed at the very end there. And they were able to rally from an unfortunate couple disconnects from Salad. So luckily she was able to get her stuff together, and it made a world of difference having, a full 6.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens next on Temple of Anubis, right? I don't think it's really... I mean, I guess the second point maybe is pretty goats-ish, but we've already seen some flashes of dive coming out from both teams, which is pretty great on point A here.
Yeah, I think we even could potentially see a bunker comp from Quantum Charge. I think that looks pretty good on that, and I think that that's something that could reasonably work on both points, maybe a little bit more on point B than point A, but that's always exciting to watch.
up game for Quantum Charge because I think the ult economy and the ults cycling, as you were mentioning before, Bort, was a lot more prevalent and more tight in the second map for Quantum Charge here.
I think that discipline is what can win or lose you a match.
Absolutely.
Ready for battle.
Just got to go with a plan, whether it's good or bad. As long as everyone's on the same page, it's definitely going to work out better than everyone doing their own thing.
It looks like you're going to get your wish here.
Yes. Oh wait, are we going to get some treehouse, or is this Bastion just? Yeah, no, they don't have a main tank, so I'm sure he's not staying on that. Or maybe he is, and they're just going to opt for. Oh no, they're on attack. What am I talking about? So dive, Widow v Widow. I'm excited. Got Flashpoint defending here first. No, I'm sorry. We have Quantum Charge defending first. We got Flashpoint attacking first. And we're going to see, dive v dive. Source going back on the Junkrat, I think, which proved out to be super strong on the Ilios, especially on Well. Made a big difference. And the guns are firing, the map's off, and Nano Rocket getting picked super early, although Salad is there with the res. That's going to be down for 30 seconds, so we got to hope that, well, depending on what side you're rooting for, that, another person doesn't die, at least super fast.
And that's sort of the glory of having the Mercy with your Widow.
Yeah, for
to
sure.
erase a mistake.
We have a little switch up happening too for Flashpoint. Heartbeat went to Ana and Fire King went to Genji.
Ooh, yeah, we got a Lucio in play all of a sudden too. Trying to see what they're. Yeah, we're going a little bit different here. We're gonna try to go quick and all together all the way to this top portion of the map here, as Quantum Charge makes their rotations and the Widows continue to duke each other out over there in their own little mini game. But Boots getting the death here this time as Nano triumphs in this battle, and the rest of the team's going to engage a man down on the side of Flashpoint here. As the Widow ultimate is online, they can see where everyone is standing right now, and they're going to collapse on this Ana that's been left alone in the back. And it seems like there's going to be a reset on Flashpoint here as they are down a couple people.
Yeah, I like the idea that Flashpoint's going for with the fast and aggressive dive. I think that they just aren't able to close that distance fast enough.
It's tough to pin down too, right? Because your other team that you're going against is also super mobile. They also have a Lucio.
And there's also super spread out.
Yeah,
There's
they're all
no
over the
good
place.
place to move.
Nope. But another snipe coming out from Boots here, and yet again does get res. So we're gonna see what they can do to capitalize it on this side. As Salad seems to maybe be lagging. There was a little delay in movement there. But Source is gonna pop out the tire, get support of their own, and we're gonna have Quantum Charge up a player here, and a D-Mech Diva, which probably is just gonna stay nice and staggered if they're feeling saucy about it.
Yep. Oh man.
You gotta try to leave. They'll let you stay.
Yeah. They don't mind a baby diva hanging around.
So really, they only committed the Junkrat tire to that fight. So that was another res.
Yeah,
Boots getting these
time.
picks.
Every time Nano's been shot though.
Getting the picks, just not being able to follow up on it fast enough on the side of Flashpoint. As Boots is doing, I would say, some pretty decent work here and getting the better of Nano
Keeping
for
the
the
res
most
down
part.
for sure. The Widow's always been res.
Oh,
but then Nano always comes back to get Boots.
yeah, the res just gives him the power up that he needs, I guess. I don't know. As two people are down yet again on the side of Flashpoint, 3, and there's no way that they can even contest right now. They can't even think about it. Yeah, they're having a tough time with this dive. I think, yeah, I don't know. They gotta, I think, maybe act a little bit faster on these boot picks. Because if they're all able to dive onto that dead body, it's gonna make the res that much more difficult and that much more chaotic to have to deal with.
Well, yeah, they know that they got the Mercy trap there, so it's like, if it happens 3 times, like maybe it'll happen the 4th time. I think plan to jump on the Mercy.
Yeah, we'll
like
see.
going right though. They have ultis already.
Yeah, Boots going down early again in this fight. Unfortunately, not being able to get the pick that he's been consistently getting so far. But the rest of the team kind of needs this fight, right? They're gonna throw out the bomb. It looks like no one's gonna be taken for that.
It's a good use though to get the mech back.
Yeah, and Emmental kind of up a creek without a paddle there all of a sudden. as the fight continues to go on. Fire King getting himself his Nano Blade, but not getting any kills for it, although it's not really necessary. Yeah, as the rest of the team kind of just cleans up the rest of the push last second there.
Flashpoint finally getting on the point there. I thought we were gonna see a full hold, but
Yeah.
it took their ultimates. I mean, like, at least it looks like it went their favor with those Diva bombs. Theirs worked out a little better.
You're right. I think that you're always. I don't think you ever plan on full holding point A on a 2CP map, so I think getting into overtime is a real accomplishment.
Very curious player coming out with the bunker comp, as someone called out on the proverbial desk here. Although I'm a little curious that they didn't make it a surprise, right? I mean, maybe just like tuck the Bastion away in the corner for a little goosing, but no dice here as the cards are on the table. And Flashpoint giving themselves a second to consider what their play is going to be here. It looks like they're going to go hard and fast at this Bastion as he dies almost immediately. Source throwing out the tire, getting a dead mech already, yeah, unfortunately. But Flashpoint kind of just using the rest of their ultimates to clean up what's left on the point. As this Bastion really not being able to be used to full effect or even to really heavy effects.
I think it's you would have liked to see that sound barrier that last fight, kind of keep the Bastion up and hopefully get a few picks.
Yeah, for sure. But we're gonna see what Quantum Charge can do here in the waning moments of this push, as not a lot of ultimates left, or any, on the side of Quantum Charge, or on the side of Flashpoint either. This is kind of just a good old-fashioned Dukem, as we see. As we see a lot of people on the blue side dropping. Fire King trying to use a blade again, not getting anyone just yet, although he's still swinging, and he's able to pick up a couple. As we see the swaps coming out that they desperately needed on the side of Quantum Charge. And a bomb, getting the Diva. I mean, getting the Mercy and the Diva bomb. But the numbers for Flashpoint dwindling ever so slowly, as it's just a DPS, a tank, and a support.
Yeah, the spot advantage is definitely gonna come.
Oh, large EMP gets half the team. And it looks like they're still holding steady here, as the respawn times are just going to grow longer and longer for the side of Quantum Charge. So if the Flashpoint team can continue getting the picks that they need,
it's all about whittling down the clock now for Quantum Charge. Just get it as low as you can.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to do too much more here. Flashpoint getting a lot of work done. Grumpy Kitten eating up a lot of mines too, which is just sacrificing yourself for the team. But I think they still got themselves in a pretty decent spot here. Flashpoint getting the kills. Yeah, Flashpoint pretty much 6 strong at this point, I believe. Heartbeat just going to town with the heals down the bridge. No one really contesting on the side of Quantum Charge, so the heals are going to be big and plenty. Even though getting in there with the rally, but dying pretty quickly. Nano Rocket also switching to the Mei just for maximum stallage, and they're killing off a lot of time on this clock. There's only a minute left.
That might be what does it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Yeah.
But hey, they came into this point in just about 3 minutes, and I think they brought it down to almost a minute.
Yeah, I think like just shy under a minute there, as the stall was incredible.
Or for 4 minutes. To under a minute. So, and they really took that on the first fight. They really just came in and disabled the Bastion, so they were able to whittle 3 minutes off the clock in just almost a pure stall.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Quantum Charge, they were on the back foot the whole time on the Bastion. A questionable call. I mean, it might have worked perhaps if they maybe kept it a little bit more closer to the chest, but yeah, as soon as the Bastion died, they were just scrambling.
Right. It was but it worked. The scramble worked.
Hey, yeah, it did buy themselves a pretty good amount of time, and who's to say that that would have been any better if there was no Bastion? Maybe they would have capped it sooner.
Sure.
Tough to call.
I mean, if they came in, took the fight, and capped the point there with 3 minutes left on the clock, that would have felt pretty bad. So I think if you're Quantum Charge, you have to feel maybe not the best that you lost point B, but just the fact that you got it under a minute has to leave you some hope.
That's something to take into this push. It's still very realistic to cap both points with more time than that, for sure. They had themselves a really good A stall, or defense even, and the stall on point B was also pretty solid. So we're gonna see what they can muster up here in their attack. as they're going to be going dive. They're going to be without the Widow this time. So it's going to be actually a fancy New Age Goats coming out for this side of Quantum Charge. With a Winston instead of the typical Reinhardt here. And I actually really like this. I think this could show and prove to have some really good success here, depending on how they can execute it. If they can coordinate what they want to jump on, the D.Va and the Winston, even maybe throw in like an orb to one of them, right? You can get a lot of work done. And it's going to really cause a lot of pressure for both the Genji, already dead, and the Widow, who's really not going to have anyone to pick off.
Yeah, I like that they chose not to take the Widow fight, and just kind of left Boots without too much to do. I mean, he's still getting some kills. It looks like they did a good job, like, jumping in on him, but in the end, I guess they couldn't get him.
They had a good first engage, and then I think they kind of just split up.
I feel like I put my foot in my mouth, because it felt like Quantum Charge was winning that initial push. And I'm not quite sure where they lost their footing.
I think the problem was once they jumped off this high grounds where Paco...
They're split.
Yeah, I mean, the dive went one way, and then the immobile characters kind of stood there thinking, you know, guys, we're here too, we need protection. But we're going to see what their game plan is now, because they did have a really strong push there. They got a pick, they got the Mercy res, and we got to just see what kind of follow-up they can follow up with afterwards. And we're going to see Flashpoint rotate here. Yeah, we're going to see what their plan is. The Blade coming out, and they're not going to have any ultimates to deal with that. Ooh, the Rally coming out a little bit late after they lose their main tank. Interesting call, as we're going to see Fire King drop, but we're going to have to wait and see what else they can really get out of this, as they're down their main engage tool in the Winston. And both tanks are up here for Flashpoint bullying.
They're really investing into this.
Yeah, they're going to commit pretty hard with the Transcendence, and they do get both tanks. Although the D.Va bomb does come out, so she gets that replenished, but Boots and the D.Va both go down. And Quantum Charge in a really good spot right now.
Evandale doing a great job as a support to go in there and like karate chop D.Va before she got back.
Yeah, very wise. Save themselves a lot of health points that they don't have to eat through. As they're able to take this... A minute and 30 left on the clock. They're gonna have what, another 3 minutes?
And they've got a pretty decent ult advantage coming into this first fight too.
Yeah, they're gonna switch off the Winston to the Reinhardt and go full 3-on-3 goat style here. As the Grav is ready to rock, we've got the D.Va bomb to couple it if they so choose.
The sound barrier too.
Do you think they're aware of how ahead in the ultimate economy they are?
I think you have to have some idea if you're tracking it. Maybe they don't.
Some idea. Yeah, it's tough to say. I mean, if they could take note of all the swaps that came out on the side of Flashpoint, they would be feeling way more comfortable. As the Reaper's new, we've got the Ana that's new, and the Winston just died using his. All right, so we're gonna go into this fight with
here we go.
No shields. Oh no, they've got a couple shields. Ronaldo switching. Yep, we're going to see the rest of this Goats kind of unfold, as we're going to have to see what Boots can offer on the side of the Reaper. Kind of just sitting on the front, not really being able to do much to the shields. Iced Tea Drink not getting too much to the Shatter, getting a couple here and there, but Soar's kind of just ripping apart people with that flail. He just chops left and right at the team. Grumpy Kitten going down, and no contest left for Flashpoint, as it's just Paco. He's going to go down rather quickly.
Yeah. I was watching the Hellfires on Quantum Charge to see when these support ults would come out. And I guess they're just doing a really good job healing, because like nobody was going low.
Yeah, there's no need for it, so why bother?
That was, I think, a really good swap to the Reinhardt. And I also think that they coming in with the D.Va bomb and Grav was a pretty big advantage, especially since they. Flashpoint really had no way to defend it other than the D.Va matrix, so I think that gave him a pretty nice advantage just walking right in, right off the bat.
Yeah, that was pretty well timed, as Ronaldo was running from spawn. He had to switch off the Winston to the Ryan and arrived a little bit too late to... I mean, he covered most of the team, but losing your D.Va is super unfortunate, and just... You're down a big chess piece in the game that is Goats. The mini game, I should say.
It looks like we're going back to the original two comps we saw in the first round.
Oh yeah, these guys very committed to the dive, and I think the Widow play is going to end up favoring Flashpoint here, as perhaps they can pick up on the fact that that Widow's going to get res immediately. If they can jump on it, then they're going to be set to cap this super fast, because it seems that Boots does have the edge for the most part, although Nana was giving him the business at the end there, so...
Yeah, and I think that's maybe why Phantom is up there with Nano.
Little body blocking.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad, because you have a minute to kill, 45 seconds at this
Right.
point. So they're going to have a good push and a stagger if they take a little bit too long. Source getting out of there. Evandel and Ice-T also kind of just evacuating the area as Nano goes down. And they're going to jump on this immediately, not letting the Mercy res. The res does come out, although they had to sacrifice a lot for it.
Right.
As they get all sorts of displaced, and it seems like they're still going to be fine on this side of Quantum Charge here. Big purple coming out from Heartbeat, but not much to be able to follow that up with, as Ronaldo is kind of just alone with Heartbeat at that point. Although we've got Nano coming in to clean up a little bit of the fight, but we got to see what Boots can do, and not much as he gets picked off by Nano.
I think that'll about do it.
Yeah, wow, there it is. I think the idea was there, they just still let the res get off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Flashpoint, they took over that second perch with the Widow on it, or rather the Resing Mercy, but they all kind of gave it up real quick in different directions.
Yeah, it was a little bit scattered when they did the jump.
I felt like they would have been better off sticking together on that second platform, denying the Mercy, and then probably they would have just had the point after that.
Yeah, it was close. I honestly thought Flashpoint had that, at least at the get-go, because the Widow died quick. They were in good spots.
Yeah, they did exactly what you said they would.
Yep, but we're going to have to see. We got 4 minutes for Quantum Charge here to take a push. And I think they're going to do their variation of Goats yet again, it seems. Perhaps they're using Nano just for scouting purposes, as the D.Va is pretty essential, especially when it comes to a Winston instead of a Reinhardt. You need the Matrix there to keep him up a little extra longer. We're going to see a little bit of a different setup coming out from Flashpoint, as Ronaldo's going to be
a
on
bunker.
Yeah, I think that's... Oh yeah, and we got the Junkrat as well. It's a new addition instead of the Genji for Fire King.
Well, they liked how it worked out for Quantum Charge, so they're going to try to...
2, 1.
Oh, and giving Boots a little extra shield, even though he's not going to need it because there's no Widow, but very curious idea here. I'm not really sure what the game plan is.
Looks like you were right about the Sombra pick here.
Yeah, they're just going to wait and see a little. I mean, they have the time. They need a tick, right? They've got 4 minutes.
May as well do it right the first time and just end it.
Sure, why not? Makes sense to me, and it makes sense to them as Boots gets himself a quick pick, and at this point, you gotta maybe just back out, right?
Yeah, you've got the time. No reason to waste it on a lost fight.
Yeah, don't give them unnecessary ult charge, because you all just need one big sweep of your Qs to really end this. So let's back up, and they rightfully do so. Very, very good awareness for them to realize that, you know, we need this Lucio, we need the speed boost. And we need the AoE heals. So before we go in, we're going to round up a 6, and we're going to charge headstrong into these Junkrat bombs and see what we can get cooking.
You think they're going to go main again? Because it looked like they were just going to go straight under the point, but now maybe they'll go right?
I think they need to take...
No, they're going straight.
Oh.
I think they should have taken the high ground, but if no one's going to contest, they're going to get themselves a quick cap, as it's already past halfway to what they need. It's only the D.Va on point. And Grumpy Kitten's already out of mix, so we're going to have to start seeing people drop down. Ronaldo's the first to sacrifice himself to see if they can get anything. And it's going to be a quick cap if no one else jumps down.
Yeah, none of these DPS want to get on that point.
And I think that's exactly what Quantum Charge was going for. You know, with the bunker comp, it's a little bit immobile. They like to stay where they're planted. So getting them to jump off the high ground was probably the correct tactic.
Yeah, and there it is. It's going to be a victory for Quantum Charge on their basically first real engage of point A.
And they're starting to get it together. I think that it's definitely Quantum Charge's match to win here.
Yeah, they've got themselves a 2-1 advantage. They're one map away from securing themselves a supposed upset.
A pretty decent upset, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think minors any game is up for grabs, to be honest, and that's I think part of the beauty of it. But yeah, I think they had some really good calls there, especially on the retreat for their Lucio. I think was super wise, and it played out to their advantage as they took it right afterwards, right?
No, I think that, you know, if you're Flashpoint, maybe you're getting a little bit nervous here because it seems like Quantum Charge, the one big sort of gripe we had with them is that they weren't playing together and they weren't playing sort of, you know, in a with a synergy. Now it seems like that's really coming together for them. So I think you have to be a little bit nervous here if you're Flashpoint. You really got to step it up.
Yeah, perhaps they thought this would be a little bit easier of a task to deal with Quantum Charge, but they're definitely not going down quietly. As Hollywood's going to be our next map and potentially our last of the series. But it's a pretty goats heavy map for the most part.
What
I mean, I'm
map-
sure you can see
what?
variations.
Map isn't goat's head. Like,
Whew. Whew.
Route 66. I don't know.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that and maybe like Ilios is pretty much like the two.
I guess.
But yeah, it's cool to see.
By and large,
that
you can run goats anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you could really force it anywhere for sure, and it would be good. Yeah, it's a safe pick, and especially if you have the coordination for it, a strong pick. But you know, last map, Hollywood. I'm sure we'll see more goats v goats, and I think for the most part,
Do you think we'll see the fairs again?
you can keep dreaming, but I don't think so. Not at this juncture. I don't know. Maybe some more Widow if we get to the second point.
I could even see a bunker comp here on point A defense.
Yeah, I could see Quantum Charge coming out with the Bastion if they pulled it out on B, Temple of Anubis.
I don't know if you risk it here though. I think you just kind of, you know, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that they play it safe and go with goats.
It worked out so well for them, so why risk it, right? And I think it's really coming into form, especially after what we just saw. But we're going to see what we have left in store. It's going to be Quantum Charge setting the pace this time as they attack first. They swap out Salad for Tiskahar. And I believe that's the only swap that we're going to see.
So in this situation, would you guys rather be attacking or defending first as Quantum Charge?
I like, when I play, I like to set the goal. Or I don't know. I like to maybe have the goal to reach.
I think I'd like to defend here first, just so you know what you know how far you have to go.
Yeah. I'd probably have to side on defense as well, because I think if you have a good defense, that gives you a huge momentum swing for offense. But also on the flip side of that, if you have a pretty lame defense, it kind of maybe demoralizes you to some degree. But I mean, a worse defense is a full cap, right? You can still accomplish that on attack. So yeah, I'd rather defend first for sure. But you know, Tito, everyone's got their own thing. Everyone teach their own, as it were. And we'll see how organized they can be on the side of Quantum Charge here. They're going to stick with the Winston over the Reinhardt. Very curious play, a la Fusion. And we're going to go with a bunker comp that you called out there, Bort. And we're going to Ash instead of a Widow. A little bit more proactive.
I like Ash.
Yeah, Ash play is cool. I like seeing how Bobs get utilized.
Yeah,
Very interesting. Yeah. And especially if you can throw some fancy dynamite, it can really be a nuisance.
Yeah, it always does way more damage than you think it is, or you think it's going to when you get hit by it.
It really does. It's very misleading. Just a couple sticks. And we're going to find ourselves potentially in the last map of this series as the gates have opened. And we've got Iced Tea Drink leading the charge in his Winston, as we're going to see the first engage happen pretty quickly. Yeah, no, Tiskahar gets stuck in a trap. Perhaps it's going to pay for his life, but yep, eventually it does die. Grumpy Kitten, the sole contester for the side of Flashpoint. Source and Ice-T going below half as the heals are not much, and the dynamite is aplenty, as that it gets at least 4 people on the side of Quantum Charge. But it doesn't
seem to phase him.
Yeah, not in the slightest, as they're going to continue to just chop away at the remainder of what is Flashpoint. One healer is really all that's left.
It's incredible that they pulled that off, especially with Tuskar going up so early.
Yeah, I was worried for them initially.
Yeah, and it really seems like Quantum Charge is a different team from Ilios here. Because I remember on Ruins, they wouldn't even engage on the first fight, and here they walked right in and took the point, even down a man.
Yeah, true that. So we're gonna see a quick point A cap coming out, and they're gonna continue moving forward as just a slight change. No more Junkrat or Ash for that matter. So we're gonna throw away those percentages, and we're gonna meet them.
I think that's the smart move, though.
I think they have to. Yeah, the goats on the side of Quantum Charge has definitely been growing in strength and coordination. And I'm curious to see how the Ryan versus Winston's gonna favor here. I think it's gonna go in the way of the Ryan. Yeah, they've got a lot of good ones here. The Rialto building charge super fast, also super low, but the transcendence is gonna save him.
See a grab or something right after this trance.
Yep, a trance of their own is going to be answered as they're looking for it, but the shatter comes out before
Quick shatter.
Anything. The sound barrier goes down not in time to save Source, but the rest of the team gets the benefit as I think they're looking to angle some ultimates, but so far no dice.
I feel like Quantum Charge is right on the. Yeah, here we go.
Here comes an
A
ult.
little too far, but gets Pac on the end.
Woo! And there goes
Oh.
these two.
Interesting. Interesting that after a triple kill with a Diva Bomb, the team that suffered the losses is quietly pushing ahead.
But Flashpoint's definitely going to have the advantage here on the engagement. They're going to be able to come in 6 versus 3. So this is their fight to win.
Yeah, they definitely hold here, no problem.
And they end up going super aggressive, pushing off Quantum Charge immediately off the point. That's going to be that for Quantum Charge.
Quantum Charge maybe should have like sent everybody with one person home.
Someone's got to live to tell the tale.
Somebody stay behind and like push the card as far as it can go.
Well, I mean, even with those losses, they did get the rally out with only three people and a baby diva on the cart. So that was pretty good for Quantum Charge there to get that ult.
We're going to see the Reinhardts come back as Ice-T has switched off of the Winston. The Shatter doing
Another
some good
Shatter.
work. Yeah, getting at least 2, perhaps 3. And putting Quantum Charge on the back foot here as they're down one of their healers. Although they seem to be sticking around, perhaps. I don't think they can really tell what they want to do here, as the Ice-T has no shield and is super dead. And that's going to force a reset from Quantum.
Quantum is just getting like literally shoved back into spawn.
Yeah, they're having themselves a tough go at it, but yeah, we're gonna have to see who uses their ultimates a little bit better as Flashpoint basically nearing a full 6. Ronaldo seems to have been charging his ult insanely quick anytime he does play Ryan against these goats. And we're gonna see. I think it's gonna come down to the Grav and the Diva Bomb. See who can really disrupt the shields better.
They basically have a second shot to shoot here. Oh, it's gonna be. Nope.
Oof. It's a really smart bubble by Boots. Yep, there's no
Trading
real,
a lot of ultimates here.
Yeah, no real ground being made, although here is a dent in the armor as they leave the point behind and go for some really strong aggression.
Yeah,
and
they're
I think,
backing up hard. Jeez.
yeah, I think that's gonna have to be point there unless they stagger people, but it'd be wiser to just sit back and wait for the next point.
They got Zeri on the point.
Yep, and that's all they need as the car is just gonna round the corner, get to the gate,
Oh, good block.
get ourselves 2 extra minutes. We're gonna see Quantum Charge trying to hold up this front ground, but Nano Rocket a little bit out of position. Ronaldo taking himself into a nice aggressive spot. He's built up even more ult charge. He has the Shatter ready, and he seems to be itching for it as the Ryan shield's super low to dropping on the side of Quantum Charge. That red shield is about to crack. Same for Ronaldo's, as they both have Shatter up. One shield is down. I
It's
think
good
that's
discipline. I would have used it there.
Yeah, tough. Oh, and rounds the corner.
Huge.
The whole team minus Heartbeat, as it looks like another clean sweep. And wow. These ultimates, these shatters are coming in super handy, and I think the team that seems to be more aggressive is the one reaping the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see if might be in like last fight territory if Flashpoint doesn't play this right.
Yeah, we'll see. Fire King preemptively popping up the rally, making sure they stay healthy. They're gonna throw out the shatter into the shields, and gets a
Got two
nice
there.
target. Oh, Phantom somehow dying. And the shields on both sides getting pretty weak, but the sound barrier is going to give them a lot of extra push if they want it.
The Chrono Charge moving through this whole fight.
Icy forced to put his shield up, but a lot of numbers dropping on the side of Flashpoint as the mech is down, Heartbeat rejoining the fight, and Boots not having anyone to protect other than himself. And it looks like we're going to get ourselves a cap here, as there's not going to be enough time for anyone to really contest, besides Fire King. He gets thrown away.
Promptly
Nerf this.
has to stop.
Sir, please.
Sick. This is a fancy ass.
To 3. Switching sides.
Alright, and a pretty well fought map so far. 133.
Match.
Yeah.
A decent amount of time left, but nothing to sneeze at either.
Chrono Charge came to play.
Yeah, and they've put their foot down in a really good spot here. Now we're going to see what their defense is going to look like. I'm sure it's probably going to be more goats. I think it's been working out really well for them. They've been synergizing pretty well as well. And I don't know if Flashpoint's really going to think of anything quirky this time, or if they're just going to go straight for the 3v3 or 3-on-3. 3-on-3?
3-3.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out here. As I don't think they really have too much time to play with. I mean, sure, they start with the same amount of time as everyone else, but hey, as Direboyd called it, he gets his Pharaoh wish.
Yeah. Fair Mercy's here. We'll see
Finally.
because it looks like Boots is probably gonna go scout, and if they see something, I don't know. I don't see a reason why that would change. There's nothing out on Quantum Charge that's that surprising. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Heartbeat's ready to play.
Alright, that's gonna perhaps cause a little bit of headache on the side of Quantum here, because they're not gonna have really all that much to contest a Pocket Pharaoh. It's gonna be tough to see, but yeah, it's also gonna take a lot of coordination on the side of Flashpoint to see what they end up diving, because ideally Fire King's gonna pepper some people, Ronaldo and Grumpy are gonna jump on that low person and just eliminate a character really fast.
Yeah, it looks like Boots is in it to play Sombra, so we'll see how this kind of pays off. For them. Only we have to worry about. Oh, it looks like she's switching Fire King. What do you do?
Oh, no, they're just gonna go goats. They're not even gonna toy with the idea. They considered it for a hot second, but it's not what they're feeling right now, as they're gonna just meet shield on shield here.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even give it a chance.
Nope, they just wanted to give you some satisfaction, but it was short-lived. I'm sorry, friends. They're gonna end up taking the high ground here. Flashpoint, looking down on the point, checking to see what kind of engage they're gonna want to take. They seem to have the initiative, as you know, they have the high grounds. They can see who they want to pick out, who's out of position, who's looking kind of low, but they're gonna relinquish that control and just jump down to the main choke here. Heartbeat kind of getting a little bit aggressive, but a lot of team members super low.
Or that sends on an island.
Yeah, and Quantum Charge is gonna finish off their food as they get some
Flashpoint
staggers
just,
in the last
like,
second.
Comes in, hangs out, and backs out.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm not sure what the holdup was there. I thought they had some good numbers, but I saw that Grumpy was low on health, so they had to back up and wait a little bit. But they're gonna re-engage here with two ultimates in pocket. Same on both sides, actually. Same exact ults, curiously enough. And they're gonna try this high ground again. Maybe do some wild aerial shatters, get something fancy going. But Grumpy Kitten already fallen down, and Quantum Charge quick to bite on it.
Yeah, it's really amazing watching Quantum Charge. They're moving as like one unit. I don't know if you're watching them, sort of how they're positioning themselves, but it's really nice to watch.
No, it's amazing. I'm loving it, and it seems like it's a really hard nut to crack for Quantum. I mean, for Flashpoint, as Quantum does another good hold here, going down below 2 minutes, and only using one ultimate, and a low value one.
Yeah.
Not low value, low priority one, I should say.
Right.
with a lot on the side of Quantum. It's going to be very interesting to see how Flashpoint dances around this next one. The grab not up quite yet, although it might be this fight, and they might try to find themselves a bomb to couple it with. Tough to see what exactly their game plan is, but they're moving into point right now. 5 Qs on the side of Quantum. What are they going to expend first?
I think Flashpoint's just going to want to try to get a couple of those ultimates out and then get a favorable
But
fight
in doing
next
so,
time.
all of them are below half. 4 of them are below half health right now, and they can't heal those numbers fast enough as 2 of them drop super quickly. And they're going to have to fall back, although the staggers will continue to come out.
Seconds remaining.
Less than a minute left. No capture progress on this point 8 as of yet. But they're getting their ultimates up. They've got 4 out of 6 on the side of Flashpoint.
They got one good fight left. And like if they do it quick, they got like one frantic fight
Yeah.
left.
It's goats. They have one fight. This is it. Because they have
And
to
you know,
position
we know
themselves.
Flashpoint's definitely capable of taking this in one fight.
Yeah.
So
and
you
this
know,
is gonna have
if
to
they're
be it.
able to use their ultimates well, they definitely could take this here.
Comes a grab. Here comes a grabs and bombs for everybody as no one. Oh, Ronaldo interrupting Ice.
Yeah,
He's
Ronaldo came
shattered.
out first.
As it looks like Flashpoint has the initiative on this push so far. Source goes down first.
Seconds remaining.
Although we're seeing a lot of off fights kind of happening. We have 2 fights happening separately, and that's only going to favor Flashpoint at this point as they have the numbers.
It looks
Yeah,
like
they
Flashpoint has it.
They take it last second.
Yep. They seem to have the advantage on using each set of ultimates first.
Yeah, right. I think
Yeah,
I
that
think
was quirky.
actually what may have won them the fight was, as Joe called out, C. Ronaldo's shatter interrupted.
Mhm.
Ice
The other
T's
shatter.
Yeah, that was
like-
kind of weird, right?
That was a battle.
You're gonna grab, I'm gonna grab. You're gonna
Yes,
bomb, I'm
we'll
gonna
see.
bomb. But yeah, I think the shatters really is what swayed that fight. And oddly enough, even during that fight, there were also like 2 side fights going on. We had Heartbeat trying to duel Evandel,
And they both have the shatters back on.
and that one's gonna be huge, as it's probably gonna be a cleanup at that point, right? Most of the people are dead, and perhaps they can get Grumpy out of the mech, although they don't seem to be pushing it too hard. So he's gonna be able to live to see another day and not have to waste any extra time trying to get that mech back.
Quantum Charge really didn't like, ease up. They lost that point, but
Yeah,
not
they're still
gonna
feeling
make it any
bold. They're brave. They've got 5 ultimates, and Ice-T prone to getting his shatter quick, along with Ronaldo, who already has it. So we're gonna have to see how the shield war works out here, as they're engaging into yet another fight. Ice-T probably getting his ult in another couple swings. Oh, only really getting the Diva mech in that shatter, and the ults are coming out of plenty. Another
Oh,
eat
good eat.
coming out from Grumpy Kitten, as there's gonna be no grab for Phantom. And it looks like Flashpoint's just gonna keep steamrolling forward, taking out bit by bit.
hang on to those ults. No reason to use them.
Yeah, a lot expended for Quantum Charge. As
They can be clever with this graviton and maybe easily cap the point.
yeah, they're gonna need some big plays here from this grab. They're gonna get the bomb also, I'm thinking, and the shatter obviously is gonna be there. I think
They're gonna have all 6 for this fight, yeah.
Oh yeah, Grumpy has the bomb.
Man, it's gonna be a tough dance on the side of Quantum, because this is basically the last fight if they can do it right. But
That's good.
Shatter gets 2, but it's all the way in the back. Yeah, the grab very well done to kind of stall out. The trans coming in a little too late to save Ice-T, but the fight continues on, although Flashpoint still has the Reinhardt, who's going to be just chunking in damage in huge quantities as Quantum Charge is kind of just falling apart here. These defenses are just not being able to hold up, whether it's the ults. I think it's probably the ults is really swaying these fights.
Well, it's like good discipline from Flashpoint to not, like, I would have shattered Diva Bombed.
Just throwing the kitchen
Got
sink.
married for good measure.
Now they're coming into this with 5, which is a hefty deal greater than Quantum Charge.
Yeah, Flashpoint having some really strong control over what ults they want to use. Their game plan's working out way better, and it seems that Quantum isn't perhaps on the same level of communication at the moment right now. I'm not sure if they're getting frazzled by these last second pushes or what the game plan is, but the bomb maybe fat-fingered or hit the wall. It's gonna go to no effects, and the shield coming up just in time. as we're getting a bunch of ults used yet again. A grab getting 4 people this time, and a bomb coming in with no shield to protect anyone. Everyone's got their own method of protection, as that picks up nobody.
I honestly think that was because of Boot's personal shield, like, blocking the rest of his team.
Oh yeah, he might have body blocked it. Good point. But it looks like we're going to have a bit of a stall here, as a couple staggers come out, and there's only going to be 1 push left for Flashpoint.
And they just have the grabs. That's going to be tough, especially since they have trance and sound barrier.
Yeah, and they're still losing people.
Yeah, they got
as Rialto traps you. Yep. There's only going to be 1 fight left, though, and the ultimates are looking way better now, as we've got 3 for Quantum Charge, 2 really huge support ultimates that Flashpoint isn't going to have.
Yeah, they're gonna have to really do something with this grab.
Yeah, which is going to be hard to do with the Transcendence.
And a sound barrier.
And a sound barrier. And losing Heartbeat early is not going to help them in the slightest. They're not going to have that speed to be able to
invest here.
initiate. And a really big shatter gets almost the entire team in both support ults. Yeah, a little bit too much. Both support ults getting used at the same time, but it looks like it's not going to make too much of a difference, as it's just Kitten chilling on the car. Heartbeat coming in last second, and that's going to be a wrap. Quantum Charge takes the series 3-1 over Flashpoint.
Wow.
GG's, guys. A lot of really symphonic goats play, as the dance just kept going back and forth.
Yeah, it was well fought. I think if you asked me at the beginning of this match who I thought would win, I'd probably say Flashpoint. And then they showed that, they were the team to beat in Ilios, but Quantum Charge really proved my initial thoughts wrong.
Yeah, it was looking tough at the last bit there, but they were able to put their foot in the sands.
Yeah,
Draw the line in the sands.
Flashpoint definitely put up the fight the whole time too. Like, there was never a point where I wasn't, like, I kind of felt a draw to root for Quantum as an underdog, and then as the games went on, it never felt like Flashpoint was completely out.
Right.
But, like, it just, like, this like intensity coming from Quantum Charge was just building and building as the games went on. So, very cool plays from both teams.
Yeah, definitely. As we were saying at the top of the match, Miners isn't the numbers don't really represent the skill in Miners, I believe. So I think that was a textbook example of that. We had a team that was just hovering around that 500 mark, taking down the team at the top of the standings. So it's definitely anybody's tournament at this point, for making the playoffs and making a run with it. Just definitely don't get discouraged with the standings here.
Oh man, the playoffs are going to be wild, especially the Miners playoffs. Oh my goodness. Like you were just saying, every given night is kind of a who's going to take it, although, stats might prove otherwise, or, give you the inclination to think otherwise. But yeah, it's going to be a wild ride, especially as we're coming down towards the last couple of weeks here in Owlet. So we're going to see who qualifies, and we're going to see who decides to take a really well-timed run to get towards the finals in the Grand Prix of being champion. All right, well, that's going to do it here for us, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for casting with me, Direboyd and Bort.
Oh, no problem, telrek.
It was fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, had a really good time.
Hope everyone enjoyed watching. Hang on, I'll switch it to the thank you for watching card so I can thank everybody for watching.
Where's my script? I need my script. You're throwing me a curveball.
We're going off script. Just throw in an advertisement to TNT and just...
brought to you by Dove. Oh, no, I messed it up.
Dove.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
That's it, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. See you next time.